Other than deep dish pizza and cold winters, there is nothing more Chicago than the Bears. The Chicago Bears, or the Bears, as they call them in Chicago. But the Bears could soon be joining a growing list of businesses leaving the Windy City over high taxes, an antagonistic governor, and an incompetent mayor. Indiana is offering to help build the Bears a multi-billion-dollar stadium just over the Illinois-Indiana line. If the Bears leave Illinois, they will join companies like Boeing, Citadel, Caterpillar, and a whole long list more that have since left Illinois. Indiana Governor Mike Braun is here, who's trying to close the deal. Governor, welcome. It's good to see you.
Good to be on.
Thank you. All right, there's so much here. Go woke, go broke. There's politics, there's economics, there's everything else. Wanted to clear one thing up, though, and I think a lot of Bears fans would want me to ask, my father-in-law in particular. Will they still be called the Chicago Bears?
I think so. I don't think it's going to be the Gary Bears or the Hammond Bears.
Or the Northern Indiana Bears. Okay. Why does Indiana even have a chance of this happening?
I think you can blame that on their own state government and the mayor of Chicago and the governor.
How so?
Well, they'd been talking to them from 3 years ago, and there was just no interest in doing anything with them.
When you say do anything, what do you mean in terms of getting?
Well, just even talking about the terms of what it would be like. I mean, they're wanting to not be at Soldiers Field. They got a lease that still extends even beyond when a new stadium would be built, because they got to still play somewhere. And then they, I think, got a good look at what it's going to be like in a state that's got light regulations, taxes, property taxes alone. So they can see how much better it will be to have a business, just like John Deere, Illinois company, just put a huge, or is putting a huge distribution center in Indiana. A lot of businesses are moving across, and people, not too unlike California and New York.
Okay, so Governor Pritzker sees it, as you might imagine, slightly differently. This is him in 2025, wondering why anyone would leave Illinois. Take a listen.
I'll just say that that Indiana is a low-wage state that doesn't protect workers, a state that does not provide health care for people when they're in need. And so I don't think that it's very attractive for anybody in Illinois.
So I think you take the opposite of what he just said, and that's why people are moving into Indiana. Your cost of living and what you can get with the wages that we pay. By the way, he forgot to mention that our economy is growing fast than theirs, in a sense of double the GDP growth, 3 times that of Kentucky's, 5, 6 times that of Michigan. So we've got, I think, the sweet spot of low costs, enterprise, and a government that's welcoming for families, small businesses, and even organizations like the Bears.
Okay,
John
so
Deere.
We've seen these pictures, and forgive me, I don't know if I can say I've been to Gary, Indiana, but I've driven through Gary and Hammond, Indiana. It is not exactly a place that is a booming metropolis for tourism. We can, I think, all attest to. How are you going to create all that, and is it worth the amount of state taxpayer dollars that's going to be spent to build all that to try to create something new?
The unique thing is the Bears are putting a ton of skin in the game, and they're making the...
We always hear that, though, don't we?
They are, because the deal is far enough along to where we've got most of the details worked out, and they made the announcement you saw just today.
Yeah, this is the statement. The passage of SB 27, which is the bill in Indiana, would mark the most meaningful step forward in our stadium planning efforts to date. We are committed to finishing the remaining site-specific necessary due diligence to support our vision to build a world-class stadium near the Wolf Lake area in Hammond, Indiana. Now, Governor Pritzker is playing the victim here. Take a listen.
It was a surprise to us. The Bears actually, yesterday, we completed more than 3 hours, my team did, of discussions with the Bears. Very positive discussions. It's very disappointing to hear that they would put that statement out but not say anything about the advancement that's been made in the state of Illinois. But, you know, we're waiting to hear from the Bears what they'd like to do next.
So I think what he omits is the fact that they were talking to them 3 years ago and didn't get any real response. And probably about 5 to 6 months ago, they were running out of time frame to do something. they take a look at what it would be like in a business-friendly state, and we've been working on it, just not publicly, for a good while. When you saw the bill converge with their strong statement, that was all coordinated to make sure.
You talked to the Bears owners today?
Didn't today, but my team has been talking with them up until the culmination of getting the legislation across the line in their public statement.
So forgive me here, I'm from St. Louis, where we've been promised over and over again that bringing sports teams and spending public money, our money on stadiums, was going to change the downtown, revitalize everything, bring in all this new business. It's never worked. The team owners always got rich, and Missouri, business-friendly state, Republican state, keeps getting hurt. Why is it going to be different for folks in Indiana?
I think we've got a perfect test case in the Colts. I mean, they came in, and the economic vitality of the downtown,
so it's
a lot of it
money
around that. So we know that it can work, and it depends on where you're at. St. Louis, Chicago, that's not Indianapolis. You cited Hammond or Gary. It's next to the third largest economy that people are moving out of, and I think it'll be a rejuvenation for that area. And the Bears think that when you take all the variables into play, that it makes sense to be where we are.
Pretty telling about the state of Illinois and the state of the city of Chicago that I love, if the Chicago Bears are willing to leave Chicago because of it. Governor, good luck. Thank you very much. We'll see you at a Bears game sometime.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.